Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Home Build Workshop. Welcome to Wednesday Live. Hope everyone's doing great. It's another Wednesday. We get to hang out, talk about some shop stuff, talk about what's going on in your world, what's going on around here, and just have a good time like we do. Sorry for the slight delay. I was monkeying around with the camera, trying to play with the angles and stuff, and I had it all out of whack. But I believe we are good. Let's get this chat over here where I can actually see it. Yeah, what is going on? There we go. That's a little bit better. Get it situated. All right, there we go. I think that'll work. Everything loud and clear. We should be good. I haven't changed any audio things. I'm using the same settings. Everything should be good to go, I think. Had a little bit of an internet issue. I know it was running really, really slow. Couldn't figure out why, so I had to restart everything on the network, and now it seems to be okay for the moment. Sam's here. Sam says, hello, everyone. Right on. Sam said, just had my coffee. Isn't it a little bit late to be having coffee, Sam? I couldn't have, I don't think I could have coffee that late. Sam says, expect the likes button to act up. It's been doing that a lot lately. Interesting. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Go ahead and hit the like button and let's test it. Oh, see what I did there? Harry Dude's here. What's up? What's up, dude? How's it going? How's Australia? Dastardly Dave's here too. Dave says, sup all. And Robert says, sorry I missed last week's chat. Was waiting for it to start. Fell asleep with 15 minutes to start. Woke up at 11:45. No worries, Robert. Glad to know everything's well, though. Nothing wrong with falling asleep. Sometimes you get tired. I know how it goes. Right on. Glad you're here, though. Glad you made it. Sam said, just did hit it. Jimmer, what's going on? Jimmer hit the popping the thumbs up on there. Right on. What's going on, Jimmer? What are you working on? What's on the lift today? It's not the workbench. It's the lift. Coffee. It's good today, too. I got a little something different going on. I got some, actually, pretty much the only time I drink a flavored coffee. For this past Sunday. Oh, happy Father's Day, everyone who is father. Belated. Father's Day was this past Sunday. But anyway, for Father's Day, I got some French vanilla Dunkin' Donuts coffee, which is one of the few flavored coffees that I really do like. It's like a little treat. It's super good. Sam says, I hit it, but it still says 0. Interesting. Let me see here. Let me see. Where do I see that? I'm showing 3. I'm showing 3. So I think we're good. I think it's still working. Maybe it just doesn't update on the other side. I can see 3. Harry Dude says, stupidly cold. I'm not happy. Says, I hit the like button and went from 0 to 1. Right on. I see 3 on this end. So I think it's still working. Sam said that there's been some issues. But I think, from what I can see, it looks like it's fine. Anyway, Sam says it says 4 now. Okay, yeah, so it looks like it's working. Maybe it just takes a minute to update. I don't know. Harry Dude, how cold is it? Like, what is stupidly cold? Like, I know I've asked, it seems like I probably ask you every year, like, how cold does it typically get where you are? Sam says 28 Celsius in the UK. 28, 28. Wow, you're like, what, 80 degrees? Somewhere around that mark. We were, let's see, Monday this week was 94 here. Yesterday was like 54. I think we actually hit like 57, but 40 degrees different. Today it's supposed to be 70. I don't know. The weather's all over the map right now. Robert says, wasn't sure if I was going to be able to catch this week's chat. Lost power around 10:45 last night. Got power back at 5:15 this morning. Right on. I'm glad it came back. Jimmer says, I hit it when it came on. It still shows 0. Huh, that is weird. So it looks like Sam said, like I said, like I mentioned a minute ago, Sam said that he's seen them acting up. And it looks like, from what I can see, it's working, but not at the same time. So just to be safe, hit that thumbs up button again, just to make sure. See what I did there? All right. Oh, let's see. Sam says, I've seen the news. Robert says, in Oklahoma, 71 with 6-mile-an-hour wind. Dastardly Dave, rain, 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 and humid. Does it always rain? Are you in like the rainy time? Sam says, don't forget to smash the like button. Totally free. Helps out hugely in the algorithm to push more amazing videos out. Yes, it does. And thank you, Sam. Yeah, doing all that stuff, interacting with the video. This is sort of a side note. You guys already know this. Any interaction with the video, as far as I understand, is good, right? Whether you hit the thumbs up, you leave a comment, you like, share, all of that stuff helps the video rank better in the algorithms and therefore helps the future videos do better. So any and all interaction, all of that stuff, much appreciated. So anyway, let's see. Harry Dude says, apparently 4.8 degrees. Feels like 1.5, says my weather app. Wow, 4.8 Celsius. So yeah, you're getting down there. You're 33, 34 degrees. It's getting kind of chilly. That's definitely beanie season for me. Sam says, important paperwork being dropped. Not saying by whom, not here. Interesting. I hope you get your important paperwork. Speaking of paperwork, I have to get my driver's license renewed. Totally unrelated to the shop stuff, but the other day I went online because you can renew online, but I think it's only like every so many years or something like that. And they said, no, you can't renew online this year. You have to come into the office. So now I have to go into the DMV, which does not at all sound like fun. Anyway, oh well. Robert says, had storms last night, even a tornado warning shortly before I lost power. Wow. Harry Dude still says one like. Never responds after I hit like. That's weird. Yeah. So apparently, Sam, what you are reporting is correct. Some sort of update or some sort of mishap going on with the counts. I am seeing mine's still only showing 3. So yeah, so there is some discrepancies there apparently. That's all right. I'm not gonna worry about it. We're gonna keep on trucking. Oh, Sam says it wasn't. Oh, I got you. Yeah, thank you, Sam. That's not. You have the exact words. This isn't the place. We're here to talk about shop stuff. Yeah, see, I don't even follow that. I don't. I literally don't care, and I can honestly say that. Let's see. Robert says the only thumbs up shows on my end is the click. It always is the one. Oh, I can't even read. The one of my clicks, the other likes shows if I refresh the chat. Interesting. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine as long as everyone hits the thumbs up. We're good. We're good. What's everybody working on? How's everybody doing? It's been kind of neat around here. I mentioned last week that we were going to do a little bit of camping. We spent the weekend. We left Friday morning. Went and did some camping. Came back Sunday. It was really kind of cool just to be away for a little bit and hanging out at the sand dunes in Colorado. Who knew that there was sand dunes in Colorado? Apparently they are some of the tallest, if not the tallest, sand dunes in the United States. It's interesting. If you didn't know that, look them up. Sand Dunes National Park. It's a national park. And I always find that interesting because a lot of us, well, I dare say probably everyone knows of like Yellowstone and maybe Mount Rushmore and, maybe a couple other national parks. But I don't think a lot of people know about sand dunes in Colorado, which is a national park. Super cool, giant sand dunes, and it was just really cool to be away for a couple days, just do some tent camping and hanging out. And yeah, it was a good time. So didn't really get a whole lot of shop stuff done. Well, of course, over the weekend because, well, we weren't here. I did get, before we left, I've got a whole table full. Actually, I can move this camera. Come on, camera, follow me. I've got, you still can't. Come on, camera. I have a whole bunch of these guys printed off. These guys have the first coat of bronze paint on there. Got to do a little bit of cleanup and get them some more coats on there. But yeah, starting to work on these. I think I mentioned it last week that I was printing them, but now I'm starting to work on the paint, getting the inserts and stuff installed in the back. Just kind of in between work. When I'm not actually working on something right here in the shop, these things are just kind of off to the side, getting worked on. So I talked about getting a jump on some of that stuff because that is coming up. I'd mentioned before that I thought the deadline for the counts for these was June, but it's actually July. So sometime in July, I should get the final counts and know exactly how many of these I need to make. But that's going to be coming up. And of course, you guys saw the video this past weekend of making these hoof picks. Well, actually, I only made one. I only made one in that video, but in real life, I made two. The first one my daughter claimed, and this one was sort of just in case. A lot of times I like to make two of whatever I'm making. Maybe because, if I make a mistake, I screw something up, I break something, I ruin a piece, then at least I've got another finished item. And that's exactly what this was. This was kind of the secondary one, just as a test. Not as a test really, even that. Just in case I ruin it. So I've got a second one here. That was just a fun project. That was kind of cool, just using a torch to do a little bit of really super simple blacksmithing and just shaping the end and that sort of thing. These things turned out really cool and really a fun project. If you haven't seen the video, check out the channel because it went out Saturday morning. Well, oddly enough, we were not even here. We were camping. See how that works? Automation. Let's see. Robert says, oh yeah, the only thumbs up, yes. Dastardly Dave, shop stuff. Sanding a body in the higher grits, 1,000 plus. Yes. That means you're near the wrapping up stage on the body. Nice, right on. Donna's here. Donna, good morning, chat. Coffee up, Donna says. Coffee up, Donna. Here we go. Super good. And Patty's here. Oh man. Patty says, hey guys, how we all doing? Right on, Patty. How are you doing? Welcome. That's awesome. How are things going in your neck of the woods? Are you keeping busy? I would say the answer is yes. But right on. Welcome. Glad you can make it. So cool. Sam says, I'm moderating 3 YouTube streams, 1 Twitch stream, and watching this awesome stream. Wow. All at once? Multitasking. Big time. Right on. Robert says, it got really hot and muggy last night after I lost power. Propped open the front door, tab on the hydraulic cylinder for some cool air. I did watch that video. Right on. And Mike Bond says, I heard somebody else say, when you make something, make at least 2 because someone else always wants one. That is a wise thing. And I feel like part of why I like to make 2 is, one, like I said, because, I never know if I'm going to screw something up. But I kind of feel like that is part of the other reason, even though it's not one of the main reasons that's at front of mind for myself. Yeah, it's like if I'm making one of whatever it is, why not just make another one, right? You gain a little bit of efficiency by kind of batching stuff out, even if you do things a little bit different. Like this one is a little bit of a different shape, different wood species, all that sort of thing. This is actually Bacote. or what I call picklewood, because it smells like dill pickles. Well, it doesn't now because it got finished, but yeah, Mike, that's a great that's a great thought, and I really like that because yeah, you never know. And if you have two, then you can do something with the second one. Give it away. Maybe it's a Christmas present, or maybe it's whatever. So yeah, I like that. Jimmer says, let's see. Okay, this is the what's on the lift question. Jim's working on cop cars, BMWs, Ford truck exhaust manifold to replace a dipstick tube. You are always doing Ford exhaust manifolds. Weren't you doing one last week or 2 weeks ago? Wow, that's a lot of exhaust manifolds. Interesting. Robert says, on my second cup of Folgers Black Silk with some cocoa to make mocha. Very tasty. Yeah, this is like my third cup of this French vanilla, actually, like I mentioned. The only time I ever drink a flavored coffee is if I end up getting some of this French vanilla stuff from Dunkin' Donuts. Super good. Patty says, yes, all good. Got back from Europe over the weekend and hitched the mower conditioner onto flip some grass over to make halage. Ooh. Looked at some beach to fell to plank in the fall. Right on. Ooh, halage. Ah, I can smell it now. Oh, that's awesome. But that is one thing that as much as I enjoy doing this, making things, building things, fixing things, one thing I really miss, in case some of you don't know, I grew up in a rural farming community and I worked on a dairy farm for several years, quite a few years, both part-time and full-time. And that's one thing that I really miss. I really miss being out there running the equipment, mowing hay, raking hay, baling hay, making silage, chopping corn, plowing fields, especially all of that stuff. Man, though I really do miss being out there doing that stuff. So cool. Yeah. So Patty, for the haylage, do you put it in a silo, or do you put it in like a bag, or do you bale it and wrap it up? What's the end result for the haylage you're going to be making? I'm guessing you're going to bale it, but I don't really know. Yeah, that's one thing that I really miss. And cutting some beech up, that's going to be cool. Let's see. Sam says, a carpenter enthusiastic like yourself would be one of the few with a backup plan if you got ideas from the Amish, how to do them projects without electricity. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Go work at an Amish furniture store for a furniture shop for a little while. Hey, dude, is on site doing repairs? Just fix an exit sign. All the glamour here. Well, Harry, dude, you know what? A repair is a repair, right? Whether it's a $3,000 guitar or a simple exit sign, doesn't matter. You fixed it. Customers paying the bills. Patty says small bale haylage, then wrapped. It's all for the horse. The horses eat haylage? Really? I guess I never really thought about that. Why couldn't they? Interesting. I don't think anybody around here does that. I live in a very, I don't know what the word is. A lot of people have horses. Equestrian heavy area? I don't know how you'd say that actually, but there are lots of people around here have horses, and I have never heard of anybody feeding a horse haylage. Man, that would be great. I love the smell of that stuff. One of the last times that we went back east where I'm from, we always try to get over there and visit the farm that I used to work on. Fortunately, we weren't able to do that this last time we were there, but the time before that we did, and he makes round bales. He'll do the round bales and then wrap the round bales. And man, even on the outside of the wrapping, it just smells so good. For those of you that maybe are not familiar, and we're kind of getting off track here, but it's fine because I like it. Haylage is basically you instead of making hay, right? When you make hay, you go out and you mow the grass down, you let it dry out, and then you bale it up, right? But it's got to dry. When you do haylage, you actually bale it up while it's still wet. And then you wrap it in basically a plastic bag to, really to keep it simple. And while it's inside that plastic bag, it starts to ferment and it gets this amazing smell, and animals love it. And it smells so good, but as it starts to ferment. So yeah, it's really cool. Patty says it pays the bills, Harry dude. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exit sign, guitar, amp prepared, doesn't matter. There's Paul. Paul's here. Paul says hello everyone. Sorry so late. Paul, it's all good. We'll give you an excuse. We'll give you a late pass. Jim says horses eat it. Yeah, it never crossed my mind. Interesting. Harry Dude says, Patty, indeed it does. And Paul, feeding a horse, Haley? Don't think your daughter would like that. Well, yeah, probably not. Sam to Harry Dude, you can get an emergency lighting pack and make emergency lighting along skirting boards and router cut channels. Can guide people while staying low in emergencies. Yeah, interesting. Patty says, yeah, it's a lower protein and a lot more dry matter than wrapped bale silage. Sorry to change track. And that's all right. No need to apologize. I enjoy that stuff. It's right up my alley. Just a little bit of a different alley, which is totally cool. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Okay, I see what you're... So it's drier than the wrapped bale. I gotcha. Okay. Jim says, hey, it's hard work. Yes, it is. But you know what? I miss it a lot, actually. Harry Dude says, your area has a high equine density. There you go. Paul says, fermented hay equals hooch for horses. I like it. That's funny. Robert says, in high school, did some hauling hay. Got overheated once when stacking bales in a barn. Dead calm day with temperature was north of 100. Came close to heat stroke. Oh, man. Robert, I could tell you. Yeah. When it's, it's 90, 95 degrees outside and you're up in the barn at the top next to that steel roof inside stacking hay, and you got one little window at the end of the thing for literally no breeze whatsoever. Yeah, it gets pretty hot. Anyway, there you have it. Haylage. Now I want to go. I do. I want to go make hay. We're gonna reel it back in. Back to the shop. What else are we working on around here? Yesterday, I had to do a little bit of repair on my car, which I should have made a video on because it would have been kind of a good project actually, and I didn't think about it till after the fact. But as we were coming back from our camping trip over the weekend, the blower motor, the fan, quit blowing air, which kind of sucked because it was pretty hot and there was no AC coming out of the vents. So coming back got a little bit toasty. After we got home, I started looking at why does the fan not work? What the heck's going on? And I ended up pulling the blower motor out of my vehicle and connected it to the battery, and it comes right on. I'm like, well, the motor works fine. The motor didn't die. The switch still appeared like it was working, as much as I could tell from the dash. When you push the button, different lights come up. So I got to looking at this guy. And some of you, or maybe you guys all know, I don't know, that there's a resistor. There's a blower motor resistor that helps control the different fan speeds in your for your system. Well, I got to looking at it after I pulled this out, because after I tested the motor and realized it was good, I'm like, well, there's something else going on. I don't know if I can get this to focus where you'll be able to see it. You can't. It's too dark. Where's my light? Well, but anyway, one of the pins inside here is burnt. The very middle pin. It's got a black mark around there. So something has burnt out in this thing. So really, I'm kind of kicking myself because I didn't do the I didn't make a video on it, which I really should have, kind of diagnosing it, testing the motor and all that stuff. I think it would have been a good one, but I didn't. I mean, I guess I could go back and remake it, but I don't really want to, I don't think. But yeah, this little resistor was bad. So I ended up getting a new one, put that in last night, and voila, we're back up and running. The fan works. I remember these on the cars back in the day. They were a little different, but used to have to mess with those. Like my first couple cars, always had trouble with the heater motor. I don't know why. But yeah, something went awry with that thing, and had to do some work on that, get that thing back up and running. Let's see. Paul says, we used to make so much money at night hauling hay until early morning. Put the old truck in granny gear and just let it go. Oh yeah. I'd be lying if I told you that. I've never done that. Low gear, you just jump out, you grab the hay that fell on the ground, woof, throw it on. Yeah, we didn't have to do all of the fields that way, thankfully. We had a kicker on the back of our square baler. You'd toss it in the back of the hay wagon. But inevitably, some would fall off, and you'd have to go out with the pickup and pick them up. Tony's here! Tony says, morning sunshine. Good morning, Tony. What's going on? How are you this fine Wednesday morning? Sam says you can make functional kids mini kitchen sets with red LED lights to look like a stovetop. Yeah, you could. You absolutely could. Robert says, is that the box? Your button came in on the table behind you. It is. It's still there. I haven't hung it up yet. But you weren't here last week, Robert. So I'll show you. I still got to hang it up. I got to do some sort of cleanup up here to find a spot for it. Robert wasn't here, so we got to show Robert. Voila, Robert. There you go. There it is. See if I can get it. Can you see you guys in there? Where's the camera? Can't see it. There's a light. I don't know. Anyway, there it is. I got to find somewhere to put it. Get it hung up. Right now it's still sitting in the box so that I don't accidentally drop something on it or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's going to go up here someplace, but I got to kind of reconfigure it. I like on the side of the sandpaper thing, but then you can't see it on all the other videos. I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll get it up there. Let's see. Harry Dude says, I was thinking resistor pack had it happen on a previous car of mine. Yep, you are spot on. I had stuff like that happen before. I remember, I forget which car it was. Might have been my first one. Actually, it probably was the second one too. They probably happened to both of them. Something like that would happen, and I would replace the resistor pack, and then it would just keep burning them out for whatever reason. Probably some wires were chewed on by rodents, or who knows. But I remember hardwiring a toggle switch, a heavy-duty toggle switch, so I really only had high, like full blast or off there for quite some time. It was just a toggle switch on the dash. And Paul says, hey, opens the box, and we're blinded by the light shining out of it. At least it's not coming off of here. Sam says, anyone can steal bales of hay. Don't worry. Someone will bail you out. Nah, Robert says, yeah, way to go. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jimmer says, internet went down here. Exhaust and motor mount have to come off to get the dipstick tube. The dipstick tube runs behind them. It sucks. That's weird. Why so many dipstick tubes? I feel like you've done a few of those too. Like, do they just start leaking? Oh, you know what? What is the truck? Because that now rings a bell. What is the motor on those? Harry Dude, the plaque should go right above the Home Built Workshop sign on the wall. Do you think it should go right here? To me, that looks weird. But I want you guys to chime in as to where you think it should go. Should it go there? It almost feels a little too hey, look at me kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, I don't hate it. I'm not against it. You guys tell me. I don't know. That's just my first thought. But I'm not against it. You tell me where you want it. Because you guys are the reason that it's even here. So if you think that's where it needs to go, then that's where we'll put it. Paul says, made a nice 3D cross for a church, finished it in walrus oil. Would have used walnut oil, but walrus oil provides the best seal. Walrus oil, no. Oh, boy. Oh, Jim says tubes rust off on a 6.2. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Interesting. All right, I'm going to throw Sam off. Sam, you don't know how hard it is. I'm trying to not say the same thing that I always say. That's like my thing, though. Sam? Sam has posted a super chat. Thank you, Sam. Much appreciated. No, I can't not say it, Sam. Here comes Sam with the super chat towards coffee. Right on, Sam. Thank you. Thank you. Paul says, that spot looks perfect. Frame it, add a couple LED lights to draw attention. Maybe make a couple small spotlights that move below it to give it the proper... That actually would be kind of funny. Heritage says, that's exactly where I was thinking. Robert says, own it. You earned it. Put it somewhere it's displayed right up front. Fair enough. All right. Yeah. Well, then that's where it's going to go. What do I need to do to put it up there? Probably just put a couple screws. It's got two. They almost look like bottle openers on the back. Look at these. Like, I wonder if you could, like, open a cold beverage with those. Look at it. You know what I'm saying? You just... So you put two of them up there. It doesn't even have one in the center. So I'd probably have to put one in this board here because this one doesn't go high enough, and then one over here. I'm thinking. I do like the spotlight idea. That would be kind of fun. Some sort of light up here that shines on it. Fair enough, guys. Thank you. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm not a big, hey, look what I did. You know, like bragging kind of thing. And I guess that's what it felt like. But to your point, why not? Let's do it. That's where it'll go. Here, dude, you could always slice up the sign and stick them on the drawers of the toolbox. That would be kind of funny. Like, pieces. So you just would open. Have to get like a laser cut, right? So you don't lose a whole lot of material. Paul says frame it. I don't know. I will hang it and see what it looks like. I think maybe a frame would be kind of cool. A wooden frame. I don't know. We'll see. I might do that. Just because that would be fun. Sam, don't let the red lights become visible from the streets. He'll attract unwanted attention at all hours. Yeah, we don't need that. Do not need that, Sam. That's, yeah, don't do that. So, Paul, on the things you made, did you actually use that walrus oil? Walrus oil? What's the other one I'm thinking of? Is it walrus oil? Well, there's a, maybe that is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it is walrus oil. Yeah. It says yes. Paul says yes. Walrus oil. Paul says an old fence picket to make the frame out of so it blends and not contrasts with the background. Oh, yeah. I wonder if I got any of these left. That's what these are. These are old fence pickets. I don't know if I have any. I've got some pallet wood. Hang on. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Stay right there. Talk amongst yourselves for just Oh, 1 second. I got to reach out the door here. Oh, I just scared a flock of geese. I've got some pallet boards. Here, track me again, camera. That would probably work pretty good. Just make it, sort of thin. Are these thick enough? Barely. Yeah, those would work. Yeah, we could do that. I better bring these in though, because they've been sitting outside and we got a little rain shower, so they're a little damp right now. So I'd have to leave them in here for a little bit to dry up. But yeah, that would be cool. Harry dude, you could make the sign a door on the front of your drill hanger box. Make the sign the door. That'd be kind of cool too. Huh. I like that. Just open it. Just drill a hole through it and put like a handle. Apparently you can order more of those. I wonder, I'd have to look at that and see. That would be kind of fun. I haven't even looked into it yet. Yeah, I might look at some of this pallet stuff. I got a few more pallets I could take apart if some of these are bad. These have some cracks in there, but I think it might work. The color looks good. Oh, Paul says send you pics. Cool. I'll check them out. And Sam says, why is a picket fence called the picket fence? And why is a shed called a shed? Where and whom thought up these names? What was the reason for such names? Sam, I have such questions as well. I don't know. Why does the English language work the way the English language works? I have no idea. Sometimes it's very, very confusing and weird. I know we've come across a few things like that I've been talking about with my daughter. Just some weird anomalies in the English language. It's just strange. Some things like that just don't make sense. So, I don't know. Paul says, I build guitars out of pallets. Works great. I have too, Paul. I've built them out of pallets. But yeah, these ones have been sitting outside for quite some time. That's the only thing. I just got to make sure that the wood is solid. Yeah, I've built some out of pallets as well. Totally not a problem at all. One of my favorite builds, guitar builds, is made out of entirely pallets. The body's made out of pallets. I put a 1/4 inch top on it. It's made out of pallets. The neck is from a pallet wood. The fretboard is pallet wood. Everything is literally pallet wood. And it is the lightest, most resonant body of any guitar I've built. The only problem with it is, and it's not really a problem, but this was several years ago when I built this one. I was going to make it a right-handed guitar, and I just sort of got in the zone, right? You guys ever just get in the zone and start working on stuff? I had made the body, I cut out the outline, routed it flush, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was one of the cavities. It could have been the control cavity or maybe the pickup cavity, but I had secured the template on the wrong side. And I'd started drilling or routing. Again, I don't remember exactly which one. But I'd secured it on there like it was going to be a lefty. But since I'm a lefty and I play lefty, it didn't stand out as weird. Like I didn't catch it because it just looked normal to me. And I literally was just in the zone, just kind of going. And I started drilling or cutting whichever cavity it was on the wrong side. And as soon as the drill bit or router, I don't remember which one it was, as soon as that touched the wood and made a cut, I was like, oh, crap. I feel like it was the control cavity. Yeah, I wish I could remember exactly, but one of them, I screwed it up, and I started cutting on the wrong side, and it was kind of one of those deals where I just went, well, now it's a lefty. And you know, it's one that I've had. I've had it available for sale for quite some time, and you know, since it's a lefty, it's kind of hard to sell. But I do enjoy playing it from time to time because it's so light and it's so resonant. It's super cool. One of my favorite ones. Sam asks, can an American speak American without good old English? I don't know. There is no American necessarily. It's English. Harry Dude says, can of worms right there. Yeah, it is a can of worms. Paul says, found the 3 guitars I built for James Burton are on hold. Had a major stroke. Prognosis is he won't be able to play again. Just keep him in thoughts. He was Elvis's guitar player. Oh man, Paul. Yeah, that's too bad. That's unfortunate. Hopefully, I'm gonna wish speedy healings for James Burton and that he will be able to play again, because that'd be too bad. Paul says the beautiful part about using pallets and barnwood for guitars is any holes you make really won't be noticed. That's true. Patty says, pretty sure shed come from Old English and previous to that derivative of the Anglo-Saxon word. Sheed, shed. Yeah, see, it's so weird, like how stuff like that evolves, right? Why is it a shed? I don't know. Why is it called a car? Why is an automobile called a car? I don't know. Robert says, on the cut edges, if the fresh edge bothers you, you can make a stain by putting rusty nails in some vinegar. That should match the gray pretty close. Yeah, I've seen different ways of doing that. You know, there's a lot of different ways. You know, I've seen lots of different methods. Some stuff that I saw a while back. You guys ever follow? You ever watch Engel's Coach Shop? Where he does Dave, I believe is his name. I think. Yeah, and he builds like stage coaches and buggies and all that sort of thing. Well, he did something a while back. It was like a sheep herder's wagon or something, where he spent a ton of time trying to make the pieces look aged like that. So a lot of different methods he tried in there. Patty says shed, not sheet. Yeah, I figured that's what you were talking about. Paul says, my pallet caster guitars wind up around 6 to 7 pounds total weight. Patty, great name for it. Yeah. Pallet caster. Oh, car. Oh, Hair Dude says car. I'm guessing is short for carriage. Ooh, didn't think about that one. Good one. Interesting. Yeah, you might be onto something there. See, this is what makes this awesome, right? We can talk a little bit about all sorts of different things. Origins of words here at Home Built Workshop. Who knew? We don't just build stuff. I mean, we sort of do, but we sort of don't. Oh, I forgot about the other thing that I just finished up yesterday. I had to do a little bit of repair to my riding mower, and that's a video coming up this weekend. It's been acting funny for a little while. Maybe I mentioned this. Sort of where it was dying, and I ended up replacing the fuel pump. And man, what a difference! My particular mower has a mechanical fuel pump, very similar to one on a car, right? It even has the little, like the little push lever, like the mechanical fuel pumps on, I don't know, pretty much all vehicles that's not an electric fuel pump have. Super cool. And I made a video out of that. I did that on Monday. And I think after I finished working on the heater motor, did the fuel pump, and then I got a whole bunch of mowing done. But yeah, changing that mechanical fuel pump on a lawnmower engine was kind of cool. Really easy, actually. But yeah, I put a video together for that. That's going to be coming out this weekend. I just like to do those small engine repairs. And then some weird stuff. I think I mentioned, yeah, I did. I had the weed trimmer, the strimmers, Sam. I delivered those back over to my brother-in-law, and I'll be darned if neither one of them would start. So I go over there and I get the 2-stroke one fires up. I get it started up and it seems to run fine. But the 4-stroke one runs terrible again. And I'm like, what in the world? Now, talk about embarrassing. After I already had them both running and I ran, tank and a half of fuel through it, the thing works fine. I give it back to them. It doesn't run for nothing. So I might be bringing that back over here. And I don't know what's wrong with it because it ran fine for me. It's literally well, I took it to the mechanic and it didn't do it. I mean, so that was kind of frustrating. So I might be working on those things again. Maybe I'll do a video on it this time. Probably going to go through the carburetor if I have to go back through it. Just make sure everything's clean. Those little tiny, teeny carburetors on those things. I don't know. It was just really weird. So that thing's probably going to come back up. So we'll see. Sam says, in the UK, people own narrowboats that are called canal stores. There's even an ice cream canal boat. We can make a workshop canal boat for use on local waters. If we had local waters, Sam, I think that would be absolutely great. We have no local waters. We don't even have barely a stream. But I do want to build, and this is something I'm going to do this summer. This is on my schedule. Exactly when I'm going to start on it, I don't know. But it is on the schedule, and it's going to happen. I want to build. Do you guys remember last year my daughter and I were messing around when we made that little raft, and we floated on the pond with the hand canoe, right? Or with the paddle that we made. I want to actually build a raft, and I want to use blue plastic drums. I've got 2 of them. I want to cut them in half and put them underneath this raft, kind of a pontoon style thing. And I want to do that. I think the 2 barrels cut in half will be enough, but I think it'd be cool to make an actual floating raft. Then we can paddle around. So that's one of my that's a project I want to do this year. KK's here. KK says, good evening from very warm Greece. My friend Jeff and brothers in the USA. I wish the best for all of you. I hope after the summer I will be there. And my brothers, take care, everyone. Right on, KK. Welcome. Glad to hear everything is good in Greece. It is getting warm here. It's getting there. We're kind of up and down right now, but things are going good, my friend. Right on. I'm glad you're doing well. Paul says, Sam, so I want to buy a narrowboat and move to England to cruise the canals. One of my favorite Just Watch channels is Cruising the Cut. Right on. Those narrowboats do look pretty cool. KK says, don't forget. Boom, 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 boom. Right on. Thank you, KK. Robert says, one thing about words, we seem to always come up with ways to shorten the words. And at first it confuses everyone until people get used to it. That is true. That is true. Because it takes a lot to say, it is. So we just say it's. Sam remembers the floating the little raft. I want to build a better one, better raft. And what do you guys think? Right? So I'm going to run this by you, and this is how I'm figuring this. If I have 2 55-gallon drums, okay, and that's what I'm going to use. I'm debating on whether or not I need to get a third one. But anyway, so 55-gallon drums. That's 110 gallons of space, right? 110 gallons of space. The way I understand you calculate kind of that buoyancy is it's all by displacement, right? So if I take these barrels and I cut them in half, that is potentially 110 gallons of water that can be displaced, right? 110 gallons at, say, 8 pounds a gallon is 880 pounds of displacement, right? That's how I'm quite certain that's how you calculate that. So then if I do like a 2x4 or 2x6 frame with, some plywood on the top, or maybe it's just slats. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. So that's, I don't know, a couple 100 pounds. So now we're 660 pounds, let's say. That should float a couple people still. But I'm wondering if it's going to float too low in the water. That's my thought. So that total height is where to be that I'm trying to figure out is where I might need to add a third barrel. But am I calculating that correctly? You guys, you see where I'm going with that? So I'm kind of thinking maybe I need a third barrel so that it doesn't float too low. I don't want it to be like perfectly level. I don't know. But am I calculating the buoyancy correct? That's like a lot of math, so I'm not 100% sure how that all works. Bertie Ertie says, glad I caught you live. Hello from Louisiana, sir. Been burning through a lot of your old videos. Right on. Right on. I'm glad you're able to. I'm glad you caught the live too. That's awesome. How's everything going in Louisiana? Right on. Hope everything's going well. Probably toasty. I imagine it gets toasty there. Sam says, make a novelty guide shaped raft just for a laugh. Novelty guide shaped raft? I don't know, Sam. I'm just gonna do a square one. I want to make it square. I just think it'd be awesome. Bernie already says it's always hot. It's kind of what I imagine. Maybe not in November or December. I've never been down to that part of the country, and I'd kind of like to get down there and at least check it out. I've never been to the southeast or the northwest. I've been I lived in the northeast, and I'm sort of southwest. Well, I've been down to Arizona. That's about as southwest I think as you can get. So I've been kind of this way diagonal, but I've not ever been to this way diagonal across the U.S. Sam says use a couple of plastic bathtubs with the plug hole filled. They float well. Oh, that would work. It's kind of tall though. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't want it to be super tall. That's why originally I was thinking just these barrels, these blue plastic barrels. But I kind of I don't want it to float way up out of the water. So I'd either have to make it super heavy or actually flood the barrel with some water to make it sit lower. I kind of want it to sit just so it keeps my frame out of water. I'm thinking like a 2x4 just for a smaller frame. 2x4 frame with a sheet of plywood on the top, maybe 2 sheets, maybe like an 8x8 or 8x10 or something like that. And then you take these barrels, you cut them in half, and then I put, the halves at each corner. I just don't know the height that it'll float. And I guess if it floats too low, I could always add a third barrel. Yeah, I think maybe that might work. Sam says guitar shaped. Sorry, autocorrect screwed that right up. Oh, that would be fun. A guitar shaped, yeah. Robert says if you cut the barrels in half, you'll most likely figure out some way to seal the cut half to keep water from splashing. Yes, I've already been thinking through this process because Haley and I have been actually brainstorming a little bit and talking about this project, and I definitely want to do it. So what I was thinking is, we would probably just, use some sort of silicone sealant or something to seal around there, because that was something I immediately thought of. If it sits too low in the water, of course water's going to want to rush over that top edge, fill it up, and then our poor raft sinks. We don't want that. So yeah, that's probably what I'll do. We'll seal it up real well with as much sealant as I can possibly fit in there. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it sounds fun. Patty says, are we all going on a road trip across the continental U.S.? I'm in. Let's do it. I've done it many times. Well, not across the entire U.S., but across the majority of it. Yeah, let's do it. Harry Dude says, I'm picturing catamaran type of boat. Catamaran. I can't picture that off the top of my head. So I need to look that up. What is a catamaran? Is that, I think I know what that is. Is that with the two kind of pontoony things? This is just This is just a sample. That's sort of what I'm, it's blurry. That's not my design. That's just a picture. That's sort of what I'm envisioning, something like that. That's done with full barrels. I think I want to do it with half barrels. Again, because I don't want it to float that high. Maybe if it was going to be on a lake or something, I might want it higher. Yes, catamaran. Yes, that's exactly the kind of thing. Basically two hulls. Yeah, here, dude. It's very similar. So I'd have the barrels, and I keep thinking I might need a third one, but there's a lot of people that sell those around here. But yeah, so you have the things, and you basically just build a frame around it, and they sit kind of inside, tucked inside the frame. You silicone all the way around the thing, so no moisture can get in there. I think it would work, like good silicone. It had to be good, pretty good stuff, I think. And now I'm thinking the road trip. Patty, if you're coming over here, we can road trip. You let me know. Sam says maybe make a boat from American bread. What? The yoga matting chemicals keep the raft afloat. By EU bread, much tastier and soft. Interesting. Jimmer says enclosed PVC pipe. I thought about that too. I thought about that. I think I would need decent. I think I would need big PVC pipe. Maybe not. I don't know. I've been thinking about this for a little while because it just sounds fun. It just sounds like a fun project, right? I like to do projects that are practical, useful, and need to be done. I need such and such a thing to do something. I needed an acoustic guitar sidebender. I needed a way to organize my sandpaper. I don't need a raft. But you got to have some fun, right? Like that's one of the things. Like it's if you can build all kinds of stuff, then why not have some fun? You know what I'm saying? And this is just one of those projects to me that just sounds fun. I just want to do it. Let's just have some fun. Where'd that come from? But yeah, that's just something I want to do. So I've been thinking about this for a while. I don't know how I got talking about that, but anyway, Jim, I've been thinking about, yes, PVC. You could go buy an 8-foot section. I think it would have to be decent size. I don't know. I'd have to do a little bit of unfortunate calculations. PVC pipe, put the ends on it, cement it all together. I don't know. I don't know if that'd work better than the blue barrels. You know what blue barrels I'm talking about? Those HDPE, kind of food type barrels. Time surfing's here. Time surfing alien. Sorry I'm late. Guess I missed all the fun stuff. No. Sam says Jeff's face. What? I don't understand. Did I miss something? Spence 2C is here. Says thank you for sharing your knowledge. Just found your channel and it seems very helpful and reassuring. Right on. Well, welcome. And thank you for those kind words. I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I just trying to help wherever I can. If there's something something you're working on, feel free to ask a question. I do these live streams every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and really it's just a time for us to hang out. Answer any questions anyone has, and really just it's an open conversation. We end up talking about all kinds of different things, and you just never know what we're gonna be talking about that day. So yeah, feel free, jump in. Hope you can join in some more and hang out and answer questions, all that sort of thing. So yeah, right on. Thank you and welcome. Here it says I'm also picturing the beer can regatta. Not sure if that's a thing in the U.S. Is that where they have like the beer kegs? Spence says I use a box and file folders for my sandpaper. Yeah, well, see, I had something similar. I did something similar to that, but I got tired of it. So I recently built this box up here with all the shelves. It's a video on the channel. You have to scroll back just a little bit. A month or two ago, a couple months ago, project I did. It was a super, really fairly simple to build and makes a huge difference for storing sandpaper. Yeah, because I had the same sort of organization as you're talking about. Spence, Hair Dude says to Spence, so do I. Works well for me. I misread that. File folders. No, that's a great idea. That's not, I was just thinking like in a box, in a pile. No, that's a great idea. Sorry, I misread that. Paul says, something's going on. You're talking, we can't hear you. Really? Nobody? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? You really can't hear me? What if I mess with you like this and that's messed up, huh? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Oh, Sam says your facial expression when reading about the bread. I didn't know where you were going with that. Paul says now the YouTube gray circle of death. Oh boy. Paul says, oh well, have a great week, everyone. Back to work for me. Right on, Paul. Have a great week. Hopefully the sound comes back. Everything here says it's working. Like I see the little meters going. So it's telling me it's picking it up. Spence says, me too, Harry Dude. I use the hanging file folder type. Yes, I misread that whole thing. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Jimmer says 4 or 6 inch covering the whole underside of the deck. That would work. That would probably be plenty. That sounds expensive though. To buy enough of that, I'm thinking like 8 by 8 at least. Right? So I don't know. It sounds more expensive than a couple of blue barrels. I don't know. It would work though for sure. Patty says, I've ever visited the East Coast. I've always wanted to go to Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico. I've never been to Utah, but of course I'm in Colorado and I've been to New Mexico. Yeah, Patty, if you ever make it over here, you got to get a hold of me. Let me know. It'd be great to touch base. Sam says, I hear Jeffafa. Hey, dude, beer can regatta. Full-size boats made of empty beer cans and race them. Wow, empty beer cans. How in the world? I got to look that up. That sounds interesting. How do you keep them from filling with water? Do they have to seal each one? Interesting. Sam says, be safe, Paul. Time Serpent says, I can hear you. Jimmer says, Harry Dude, we have a cardboard regatta every spring here in Watkins Glen, New York. I think I've heard of that, Jim. Time Surfing. We used to have river raft races here. All homemade rafts racing down river. That sounds fun. You know what I saw recently? I don't know where this was held. Here, dude, this might have been Australia? New Zealand? Why do I feel like it was somewhere over there? I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, I apologize. And I forget what it was called. But they were on these boats, right? 2 people. They got a pilot and then like somebody that is in the front. And they're like racing through this wild course through like rivers and lakes and like all of this stuff. And the person in the front is like responsible for flinging themselves over the edge to keep the boat from tipping over as they're flying through these things. Have you guys ever seen that? It looks awesome. I want to do that. I wish I could remember where that was held. But does that sound familiar to anyone? It looks so cool. They're like super small little boats. And they've got like an outboard, I believe, on the back. And the guys, they're steering. And then the person on the front's flinging off the sides to keep the boat in control. It looks so cool. Sam says, lots of beers. Jim says, I hear you fine. Well, that's good. Spence2C says, in Virginia, they make historical batteau-style wooden flatboats and race them down the river. See, you're going to race. People are going to race everything. I think we should start the blue barrel raft races. Ooh, see, it just has a ring to it. Time Surfing says, fast boat competition held in Louisiana. Oh, really? See, I don't know why I was thinking it might have been somewhere else. Robert says, I've seen those boat races. Looks insane. Patty says, oh, that would be cool. And I offer you the same. You ever get over this way, you're always welcome. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate that. Hope maybe one day, you never know. You never know where things will take us in this great big world. Right on. I appreciate that. I would love to get over there. That's a part of the world I'd like to see. Anyway, let's see. See, now we're talking about boats, but mainly because I want to build a raft. And when somebody builds something, then they end up racing it. Look at the lawnmower racers. Starts out, my lawnmower's faster than yours. And now look at it. Like it's an actual thing. It's so cool. Sam says, perhaps visit the UK. Yeah, I'd like to get there. I'd like to. Spence2C says, where are you from? I am in the state of Colorado. Originally, I'm not from Colorado. I'm from Pennsylvania, but I live in Colorado right now. Oh, so do you guys remember a while back I was talking about they're doing this fiber optic install? They're still working on it. I don't know what's going on. I've tried to talk to several of the workers out there. I've gotten zero information from anybody. And then yesterday, they came through and trenched in new conduit. I don't know why. They've already trenched in conduit, and it's buried because I watched them bury it like weeks ago. Yesterday, they came back through with the dozer with the trencher and trenched in new line. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they screwed something up and had to run a new line, or maybe this is a second run. I don't know what's going on. Only reason I bring that up is because I heard a machine out there. They're still out there doing stuff, but I haven't been able to like flag anybody down and get any information as to like, can I connect to that or what's the deal? Nothing. Harry Dude says jet sprint boat racing. No, that is not it. I know exactly what that is, and it's kind of similar, but they're on like a closed course and they're like flying around. The one that I'm talking about, it's like in a swampy kind of setting. Like they're going from lake to lake sort of thing, and there's like narrow streams and passages in between, and like tree branches and stuff. Like not the jet boat racing. Those things are wild too. The one I'm talking about, yeah, it's like I don't know, swamp to swamp or lake to lake or something like that. It's not quite the jet boat, the sprint boat course. I know what you were talking about there. That looks pretty wild as well. Time Surfing says, I have a friend who races lawnmowers. Some are unbelievable. Yeah, see, I want to do that. A while back, I ended up I have a couple mowers that I got just for that purpose. I wanted to start a league in this area, but it didn't end up going anywhere. I couldn't get enough people to commit, and I didn't build my own yet because I was worried about putting the money into it. If I couldn't get the thing started, I wanted at least a couple people that to build along with, because it does take a little bit of a financial investment. Not a huge deal. It's like $1,000 to $1,500 for parts and things like that to actually convert these to be to be actual. What's the word I'm thinking of? Sanctioned, not sanctioned. There's a lawnmower league. In order to be legal, there's certain things you have to do in order and to build one that is to their specs. That's kind of what I figured the cost being. This was a few years ago, but I want to do that. I wanted to build one, and I still have one mower here. One of them I kept the motor and got rid of the rest of it, but I think it would be awesome. Jimmer says, seen boats like that in the Thousand Islands. Oh, interesting. Man, it's been years since I've been up there, but that is such a cool spot. Go up to Bolt Castle and all that, man. Robert says, back when I worked the state FFA conventions one year. Someone had built a racing mower that was powered by a full-blown Hemi. Oh, man. That's wild. Spencer says, that sounds cool. Sam says, could buy a secondhand school bus to convert into a workshop on the road. That would be kind of fun. That'd be kind of cool. Kind of the, what do they call them? Schooly conversions or something like that. I don't even like that word. Time Serpent says, I don't know, going that fast on something that was designed to go 1 mile an hour. I'm totally in. I am in. It's all, so I've basically researched the entire thing. I've gone through all of the research, I feel like I know off the top of my head what needs to be done. The frames get reinforced. You're basically redoing the steering. The rear end is completely, it's not the lawnmower rear end. It is literally a racing go-kart rear end. You use as a go-kart axle, go-kart bearings, go-kart hubs, go-kart basically steering, everything. It's basically like a racing go-kart with a lawnmower body on it. That's really what it is, sort of. So yeah, it would hold up. As long as you can weld sort of okay, it'd be fine. Robert says, to be honest, I think that mower was built as a promo piece. Yeah, probably. A lot of the racing mowers I've seen use actually a lawnmower engine. Sam says, waterworthy? School bus? Waterworthy school bus? I don't know. It sounds a little sketchy. Not that I'm not against sketchy. I'm totally all for sketchy. But there's certain levels of sketch. Anyway, guys, well, we're a quarter after, which is totally fine. But Hair Dude says V8 on a lawnmower. I'm getting Tim the Toolman home improvement vibes. Ho ho ho. Ha. Yeah, I like it. Sam says, I hear someone's come up with a converted dumpster on wheels. They actually gave it a name. Tesla. I mean, I've seen some dumpsters that have a very similar shape to some of them. Time Surfing. Seen motorcycle motors on chainsaws. How about V8s? Time Surfing. You haven't seen the lumber competitions where there were two dudes are picking up a small block Chevy with a supercharger and it's got a chainsaw bar attached to it? Look that up. Sam, boats being made waterworthy. I'm going to try to make, I'm building the raft. We're going to build that this summer. Robert says, Fab Rats had some YouTube videos with different classes of lawnmower races. Interesting. I don't think I've seen that. Fab Rats. I know the channel. I don't think I've seen that one. But I want to. If anybody wants to start a lawnmower racing league with me, I'm in. But I even went so far as there's a go-kart track here. I don't know, 20 minutes east of me. Half hour. Maybe actually it's farther than that. I don't remember exactly how far, but there's a go-kart track. I even went out there, talked to him, and he was willing to put in a track, like a dirt track. It's an asphalt go-kart race track, like an actual sanctioned track. But the guy there was willing to put in a dirt track to hold the races there, as long as I had a group, right? He wasn't just going to do it just because I wanted to, but he said, if you come here and you got a group of guys that are ready to race, he said, I will put in the track, which I thought was awesome. I just never got the group. I never got enough people together. Robert says, I saw 2 Cybertrucks while on my shopping trip to Stillwater yesterday. Yeah, there's a couple that run around here. That's all I can say. Time Surfing, V8 chainsaws. Americans. Yeah, more power. Sam, UFO car. Rick says, what's up? Rick's here. Rick, what's going on? Rick, how you doing? What's going on, man? What's going on in your world? How things been? Patty says, that description of the racing mower sounds like Elwood in the Blues Brothers. It's got cop shocks, cop motor. Yeah, kind of. Sam says, apparently Cybertrucks rust fast. They shouldn't. They're aluminum. Robert says, I don't like Cybertruck. I don't like them either. But anyway. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Rick says, not much. Right on, Rick. That's glad you could tune in. We're just fixing to wrap this up here just in a few. But yeah, glad you could stop by. Blake says, learning how to operate MIDI. Got me the MIDI captain. Right on. MIDI is interesting. There's some neat stuff you can do with MIDI. I'm not an expert with MIDI, but I've used it. I use it in some of my music gear. You know, for changing channels on stuff like that. So that's awesome. Yeah, I think you'll like it. I'm not familiar with MIDI Captain, but yeah, that's cool. Right on. Robert says, everyone stay safe and healthy. Sam says, thank you for the fantastic stream today, Jeff. Don't forget to smash the like button. Bam! Psst, it's totally free. Helps out hugely in the algorithm to push more amazing videos out. Thank you, Sam. Rick says, a lot to learn. Yes, it can be. It can definitely be a lot to learn, the programming and all that sort of thing, but you'll figure it out. Right on. That's awesome. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I got to get back to work. I got to get another coat of paint on these things. I got to get to working on the next video. Get to doing a little bit of shop cleaning. Got to hang up a sign. I still got some more lawn to mow. Never ends. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Robert says the Cybertrucks are supposed to be built out of stainless steel. When the Cybertrucks, they say yesterday's painted white. Oh yeah, stainless steel. I said aluminum. I'm sorry. Stainless. Yes, you're correct. I think what they do is wrap them. I could be wrong, but I think they wrap them. There's one or two around here that are wrapped. Anyway, time surfing crazy saw. Sam says be safe. Rick says take care, Jeff. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Wednesday Live here at Home Built Workshop. Thank you. I appreciate all of you and hope you guys all have a great week. And you can get out in your shops, build some cool things, have some fun, make some stuff, enjoy being outside. Hey, dude, I hope you stay warm. Hope everyone in Australia is warm as you're going into winter. So, you guys, thank you so much. Take care. Stay safe. Be well. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Later, everybody.